Good afternoon, everybody. It's Friday afternoon. Quite mild out, a bit drizzly. Good bit of sun this morning. Wind's getting up though. I had to get up early this morning to take my car down to the garage. At last, 3 weeks. And you really notice it, even though we can't go out. You know, I suddenly thought, oh, I think I'll go and do that. Oh, I can't. I haven't got the car. I think I might. Oh, I can't do that. So for people who are literally stuck in their houses and cannot go anywhere because they can't move around or they don't have a car, it must be awful. Because this week's I haven't had a very good week this week. I haven't slept too well. I keep sort of waking up and things are going through my mind, and then I read a little bit, and then I put the light out again, and then I lay there, so I get up, make a cup of tea, and then that's the dogs disturbed, so to get them up into my bed, and then I try and have a little bit more a read. I mean, eventually I do drop off, but I'm really struggling. I've had 2 or 3 nights like that. I suppose all the uncertainty sort of going through your mind, another year of uncertainty. So yeah, I have struggled a bit this week. Don't know why, but I have. So everybody says you must admit these things. I sort of walked along and sort of, because I don't see anybody to talk to, I talk to myself a lot. So I've been sort of talking a lot, and then I got myself in a state, I suppose, and made myself miserable. But now I've got the car back, I should be able to sort of get myself up and say, right, go and take yourself out for a ride. So that'll be good. I went over yesterday, walked over to my friend's start. No. It was a shush. Start emptying her great big vegetable truck of stuff, and she's got pots and pots and pots of, full of compost. I don't know whether they've been used for a couple of years, so I emptied all those out, and I put some of the compost from the vegetable truck, which is perfectly good. Half filled these pots, and I said when she gets new compost to fill them up, she's going to put plants in them. So I did all that yesterday, filled up 2 or 3 bags. I had to leave them there. I did a bit of tidying up for her. And then this morning, because I'd got the courtesy car, I went round there with a couple more bags and filled those, had a bit of a go again, and tidied up all her tubs and pots round there. And she's got lots of these trays floating around that you bring your plants home, and she wants to keep them. And they're all in a mess, so I tidied those up and put them all underneath the trug, so nice and tidy. And then I got a call, perhaps 12, to say that my car was ready. So I went round down at 2 and got it. And then I went round and because it was starting to rain, I thought, I need to pick up some of those sacks and get them emptied on my garden before it gets too wet round there. So I put about 4 or 5 of the sacks in my car. I mean, I covered my car with all these old covers to get some of the sacks in. I must remember not to fill them. There was a couple I'd filled quite full and I had a bit of a struggle getting them in. So I got those in, and because when I got home I thought I've got to get them out the car, and then I thought, right, while we're doing that, we'll just get them straight out in the garden, get these emptied, the sacks back in the shed, so when I go up next I've got empty sacks. Because if I thought, right, if we're going to have some rain, then that compost can get soaked in. So I've just emptied those. My back's killing me. And I've just taken the dogs out as well before it rained again, taken them over, and they've just had their dinner, so I'm in now. Finished off the jigsaw this morning, so I've got a new one in to start. Don't know whether I'm going to get on with it. It looks a bit difficult, but we'll have a go. Do you know, I could, hairdo, please. It's beginning to do nothing. I can't get anything. The shape's going really badly. Just need, I'm hoping we'll get a message soon, we get some hairdos. Well, of course, that's not going to come for at least 3 weeks, though, is it? Oh, dear. I did up some parcels for my girls. One to send to Alexandra for Easter, so I'll post that tomorrow. I've got one ready for little Emma. Alex and Emma are coming down tomorrow. I've got one ready for her tomorrow. And I've also, when I was in the village store, getting some milk a couple of days ago, there were some little Easter presents in there. So I bought one for her, little Easter gift, and done it up. So I'll give that to her tomorrow. A little bit of fun. And I've got a parcel ready for Francesca for next week. She won't get hers till next week. What else? Really murky. Supposed to be very good. Supposed to be good next week. So when we can all get out. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably go down to the big superstore. Get some petrol. There's a big petrol station there. Get some cheap petrol. And it has one of these big concourses with lots of little shops on it. A Smith's and a pet store and a barber's and a card shop. Well, they won't be open yet, will they? So I might have a little pot around the shop. I mean, without Potter, I'm not going to hang around. See if there's anything I need and just go in and get it. It'll just be nice to see people. I haven't seen anybody today. Oh, except I haven't spoken to anybody today. And when I walked the dogs this morning, because it was later because of me dropping the car off, I didn't see a soul. And the only person I've spoken to today is the girl in the garage. So I've had a conversation with her. So I might make a phone call in a minute, so I've got somebody to talk to. That's the thing, when you're stuck in, and I'm very isolated here because I don't see anybody to be able to talk to or wave to, unless I'm out with the dogs. But that gets me down sometimes, being alone. But once we start getting out, that'll be better. I'll be able to see people in the garden. Next week, I'll go down and see my friend down in Ferring. See her in the garden next week. We got some nice days, so it'll be nice to take myself. What I did last year, because she's quite particular about this COVID, I'll take my own flask. That's what I did last year. She got her garden chairs out, and I took my own flask, and she sat at one end of the patio, and I sat at the other, and we had a nice chat. But took my own flask. And I think I took the blanket out the car and I wrapped that round me sitting there. Like a couple of ideas on the seafront. But I have to wrap myself up because if I get wind on my back, then I can't move. I've just obviously got very weak back. And the osteoporosis doesn't help it now either. So, what have I got for tea tonight? Oh, I've got a lot of the sauce left over from the casserole I did the other day, the gravy and the vegetables. So, I'm going to do sausage tonight. Do up some sausage in the oven, and then what I can do is to quickly flash fry them, and then I can put them in a casserole dish with this sauce and cook them off that way. That would be nice. And potato. What have I got? Carrots and broccoli and peas. I must write a shopping list. I don't think I've got many carrots left now. I put my carrots, because I get you buy a big bag of carrots, and onions. I put them in the shed. I've got one of these baskets, open baskets, and I just put the carrots and the onions in the shed because you can't put them all in the fridge. So when I got some last night out the shed. I noticed there was only a few left, so I must get some more carrots. Yeah, it'd be nice to go down and have a potter down the vegetable aisle and see what I fancy. I haven't got much fruit either, I've only got satsumas. What am I going to have for my... Oh, I made a jelly yesterday. I suddenly thought, oh, I've got no pudding, no fruit. So I made a jelly, so I've got jelly tonight. Jelly and ice cream. No, I haven't got any ice cream. Jelly and yoghurt. Well, it's not quite a jelly. It's what we used to call, my mother made jelly fluff. Because I hadn't got any yoghurt or, I don't know, ice cream to have with my fruit the other day, I opened a tin of evaporated milk. And when I asked Rachel to get it for her, I didn't tell her to get me a little tin. She got me a big tin. So I've got this for 6 months. So I thought, oh, if I make a jelly, I can use some of the evaporated milk. And my mother, we used to call it jelly fluff because Mum used to whisk it, set more or less, you know, set the jelly, get the jelly setting and whisk in this evaporated milk, and it makes some sort of a fluffy, moussey thing. So I've got that for tea tonight. Jelly mousse, take me back to my mum. Lime one. It's another thing I must put on the list. I've got no more jellies left. So something to put on a shopping list for next week. That's about it. I think I've got a Zoom call with the girls next week. I'm working Monday morning. Of course, it's Easter week, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, I wonder why the children were sort of about this afternoon on the green playing. It's half term, I suppose. Yeah, half term. Or is it? Or are they there until next week? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, it's Good Friday next Friday, isn't it? Gosh, it's April. That means it's April. Where has the time gone? 3 months since Christmas. Oh well, so everybody, hope you have a lovely evening and speak to you soon. Goodbye.